Hamilton in danger of Abu Dhabi engine penalty. Lewis Hamilton could receive a grid penalty for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in just over a week. Mercedes reported after the Brazil race last weekend that the Briton's engine was damaged during the event. Hamilton managed to win the race after Max Verstappen was spun around by Esteban Ocon, who was being lapped. The 33-year-old was forced to nurse his car home, and crossed the line 1.5 seconds ahead of a chasing Verstappen. James Vowles, the chief engineer at the Silver Arrows, explained that a number of changes had to be made to Hamilton's engine to ensure that it got to the end of the race without failing. If we just go back a little bit and look at what happened in the race, after the first pit stop with Lewis we noticed quite a significant problem, which required a huge amount of input from a number of sources, stated Vowles. We have a team back in the UK at Brixworth who work alongside us on the intercom, and we have a huge team trackside working together diligently to understand what we can change on the engine to get to the end of the race. They did a fantastic job. It wasn't one change, it was a huge number of changes across a 40 to 50 lap period, where they were working with Lewis to adjust various componentry and get that power unit to the end of the race. They did a fantastic job. Hamilton's victory in Brazil marked the first time he won a race immediately after winning the World Championship. The damaged engine will be inspected on the build-up to Abu Dhabi before it is decided if a fresh one will be used for the final race of the year. The engine has sustained some level of damage, but we don't yet understand what, added Vowles. It has to be inspected and understood before we can make any decision going forward to Abu Dhabi. Ricciardo confident bad luck will dissolve in 2019. Daniel Ricciardo says that his bad luck will dissolve at the end of the year when he departs Red Bull. The Australian confirmed earlier this season that he would be making a switch to Renault in 2019, right when it was believed he would sign an extension with Red Bull. The 29-year-old has been blighted with poor luck in 2018, suffering 8 retirements throughout the year. In Mexico, he was on course for his first podium finish since his Monaco Grand Prix victory, before a clutch issue forced him to pull up and retire. After 2018 the bad luck is just going to dissolve, Ricciardo said. The bad luck will stay in 2018. Look, I am certainly excited for a change and a new challenge. But whether I've had a run of good races or the run I've had, it would not actually change my feeling about where I am going next year. Even before this run of misfortune I was already looking and tempted to move on and have something different. I don't see it any different now. Part of me, as excited as I am to try and have a good result in the final races, I am also just excited to get the year finished and start fresh with a new team next year. Next year, Red Bull will take on Honda engines, ending its partnership with Renault. The Renault Works squad is currently 4th in the Constructors' Championship and is likely to seal the spot in Abu Dhabi as Haas sits 24 points behind. Verstappen will be a future world champion. Verstappen has the opportunity to move into 4th in Abu Dhabi next weekend if he outscores Valtteri Bottas by 4 points. Next season, Red Bull will partner with Honda engines, a relationship which Helmut Marko expects to win titles. Wolff also expects Verstappen to become a world champion once he gains more experience in Formula One. He says in a few years he'll be able to look at the Esteban Ocon incident and decide for himself if it was the right thing to do. In Max, you can see there is a future world champion coming together. Unbelievable talent and speed. I think once the raw edges are off, he will be somebody that would be a champion one day. Wolff said after his Mercedes team won the Constructors' Championship. In a few years, he would look at the race footage and maybe have his own opinion on whether that was the right behavior or not. But you cannot accelerate these things. This is a learning process. Wolff went on to explain why Hamilton didn't fight with Verstappen in the recent races. He claims they were more concerned about Ferrari and would have lost race time when the pair were fighting. When Max appeared like a missile behind him, it was clear that he wouldn't fight him unnecessarily to lose race time, but trying to make it to the end of the medium tire. Wolff added. So it is totally irrelevant from Mercedes' side who would have won. The objective was to stay in front of the Ferraris.